At exactly 4:12 a.m., the alarm inside the private vault of the Vanguard Federal Credit Union never reached the police. Someone had cut the backup communication line first. The men behind the operation believed they had planned the perfect robbery. No guns fired, no loud explosions, no hostages, just precision, patience, and millions of dollars waiting behind reinforced steel. But what they didn't know was that one tiny mistake, something so small none of them noticed it during months of planning, would unravel everything. And within 11 days, every single member of the crew would either be arrested or found desperately trying to disappear. Chicago was freezing that January. Snow pushed against the sidewalks in thick gray piles while commuters rushed through downtown wrapped in scarves and long coats. Beneath the city's financial district, hidden behind a parking structure and 2 security checkpoints, Vanguard Federal stored cash reserves for several smaller institutions across Illinois. It wasn't famous. That was exactly why it became a target. The robbery crew consisted of 5 people. There was Daniel Mercer, a former armor truck employee who knew how financial shipments moved through the city. Luca Moretti handled electronics and surveillance bypass systems. Ethan Cole specialized in industrial drilling equipment. Then there were the brothers Ryan Voss and Tyler Voss, both with records tied to burglary and interstate theft. For nearly 6 months, the group studied employee routines. They rented an apartment overlooking a service alley behind the institution. They tracked security guards. They monitored armor deliveries. Daniel even used an old connection to obtain partial maintenance schedules for the building's underground systems. The plan depended on timing. Every Friday night between 3:45 a.m. and 4:20 a.m., the backup security monitoring system briefly shifted to an internal generator test cycle. During that window, external alerts could be delayed by nearly 3 minutes. 3 minutes was all they needed, or so they thought. The robbery began during a snowstorm. Cameras later showed a white utility van entering a restricted underground parking section disguised as a telecommunications repair vehicle. The fake logos looked convincing enough that the overnight guard barely glanced at them. Luca disabled 2 camera feeds. Ethan drilled through a secondary access panel leading into a maintenance corridor. Daniel stayed upstairs monitoring radio chatter. Everything moved with terrifying precision. The crew reached the lower vault chamber in under 9 minutes. Inside were sealed currency containers waiting for Monday distribution. According to prosecutors later, the group stole nearly $4.8 million in cash and negotiable assets. And for a moment, it seemed like they had succeeded, until a maintenance employee named Harold Bennett walked into the wrong hallway. Harold wasn't supposed to be there. He had returned after forgetting medication in his locker. As he approached the lower corridor, he noticed condensation drifting from a forced-open security door. Then he heard drilling. The moment Tyler spotted him, panic exploded inside the crew. Tyler wanted to grab him. Daniel refused. No witnesses touched, he reportedly warned. But the argument cost him precious seconds. Harold ran. He triggered a silent emergency switch before Ryan tackled him near the stairwell. Harold suffered a broken shoulder, but managed to scream loudly enough for an upstairs security officer to hear the disturbance. Suddenly, the operation changed from stealth to chaos. The crew fled with only part of the money, and in their rush, they left behind something catastrophic: a thermal cutting glove. Detectives from the Chicago Police Department initially believed the suspects would vanish quickly. The robbery had professional characteristics. The team clearly understood infrastructure and surveillance systems. But the glove changed everything. Inside the glove, investigators discovered microscopic metal fragments mixed with industrial lubricant. The lubricant was uncommon, used primarily in high-capacity tunnel drilling machinery. That narrowed possibilities fast. Detective Elena Ruiz led the investigation. She noticed another detail many overlooked: faint blue paint embedded in the glove fibers. Lab analysis traced the paint to a discontinued model of industrial utility van manufactured in limited numbers. Only 13 matching vans were registered in the greater Chicago area. One belonged to a repair company where Luca Moretti had once worked. Police quietly subpoenaed employment records, phone logs, and toll booth footage. Then another mistake surfaced. 2 days after the robbery, Tyler Voss used stolen cash at a suburban casino outside Milwaukee. The bills had sequential serial numbers connected to the stolen reserves. Surveillance cameras captured Tyler celebrating recklessly at a poker table while wearing an expensive watch purchased hours earlier. Investigators now had movement patterns. From there, the case accelerated violently. Police obtained GPS records from prepaid burner phones that briefly activated near the credit union during the robbery window. One device traveled afterward to a storage facility on the south side of Chicago. When detectives searched the unit, they discovered drilling equipment, fake telecom uniforms, zip ties, floor plans, and nearly $900,000 in cash wrapped in moisture-resistant packaging. But the biggest discovery was hidden inside a trash container nearby. Burned documents. Most were destroyed beyond recognition, except for one partially melted page, a handwritten schedule, and at the bottom, a name, Mercer. Daniel realized too late the investigation was closing in. According to court testimony, he began pressuring the crew to flee separately. Ryan wanted to leave the country through Canada. Luca believed they should bury remaining cash until attention faded. But paranoia was destroying the group. Tyler blamed Daniel for abandoning part of the money during the escape. Daniel blamed Tyler for attacking Harold and triggering the emergency alarm. The brothers started recording conversations secretly, hoping to protect themselves if arrests came. Those recordings would later become devastating evidence. On the 11th day after the robbery, police moved. SWAT teams raided 3 locations simultaneously across Chicago and northern Illinois. Luca was arrested while trying to transfer money through cryptocurrency brokers. Ryan attempted to escape through a motel fire exit before being tackled in the snow. Tyler barricaded himself inside a garage for nearly 2 hours before surrendering. Daniel Mercer disappeared. For 48 tense hours, investigators feared he had escaped the country. Then Detective Ruiz received a call from a gas station employee near Detroit. A nervous man driving a damaged white van had tried paying entirely in bundle cash. The employee recognized Daniel from televised news coverage. State police intercepted him less than 30 miles from the Canadian border. Inside the van were fake passports, weapons, and over $1.2 million hidden beneath insulation panels. But the most shocking discovery came afterward. Daniel had secretly kept records of the entire operation. Dates, payments, roles, even audio recordings of planning meetings. Investigators later believed he created files as insurance in case the crew ever betrayed him. Instead, those files destroyed everyone involved. During the trial, prosecutors played fragments of recorded conversations in court. Jurors heard the crew discussing security blind spots, escape routes, and how to divide the stolen money. Then came the emotional testimony from Harold Bennett. His arm remained permanently damaged from the attack. He described hearing footsteps behind him in the hallway and realizing, in that instant, he might never see his family again. The courtroom reportedly fell silent. By the end of the proceedings, all 5 men were convicted on multiple federal charges, including conspiracy, aggravated robbery, unlawful restraint, and financial crimes. Together, their sentences exceeded 80 years. Investigators later said the robbery failed not because the plan was weak, but because human beings are unpredictable. Fear changed the timeline. Panic created mistakes. Greed made them careless. And one forgotten glove became the thread that unraveled an entire criminal operation. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another gripping true crime case. What do you think was the biggest mistake the robbers made? Was it leaving behind the glove, attacking the maintenance worker, or turning against each other? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your opinion. Stay tuned for more shocking crime stories, investigations, and justice-served cases.